Another common use for our dehydrator is to make a bread. Now this isn't bread like you buy in the supermarket. This is called Essene bread, which comes from an ancient culture back in biblical times called the Essenes. And what they would do is they would soak and sprout their grains, like these Kamut wheat berries I have here. And you can see they're just starting to grow at the tip, so they're sprouted and they're growing. And now they're very soft and they're very sweet. All the carbohydrates and starches are now converted into fats, sugars, and proteins, and they're developing into a plant, and soon it will grow wheatgrass. But right now we're going to use these soft grains and we're going to put them in a food processor. Another possibility, if you have a Green Star or a Champion juicer, is to mix this together with your other ingredients and push it through the juicer, and that way you can get a dough out of it. But this is the easiest way I find. So we're going to add our sprouted wheat berries. We're going to add just a little bit of sweetener. I prefer to use raw honey because raw honey has amylase, which is an enzyme that breaks down starch. So that's a good thing to put into a starchy food. And then just a pinch of salt and a little bit of water to help the blending process. Not too much. We don't want to make this very wet, otherwise it won't dehydrate. And then a little bit of olive oil or some coconut butter or some flax oil, whichever you have around. And we'll just blend this into a dough now. It may take a minute. Now as this starts to blend on the bottom, you'll see some of the wheat berries that stuck up on the top, which you'll want to scrape those down so that this dough blends all the sprouted berries in it can. Now you can leave this as coarse as you want. If you want it to be kind of a rough stone ground feel, you can leave it coarse, or you can blend it a little bit more and get a smoother dough. And there we go, that should do it. So now we have a nice sprouted grain dough, which we'll put in the dehydrator to make our breads. Now there's a couple options when you're forming your breads. If you like to make sandwiches, one of the things I like to do is make some patties, like some burger buns. And not too thick now because you want this to dehydrate within a reasonable amount of time and not be too tough. So you're going to just make about a quarter cup full. And they'll shrink a little bit as they dehydrate, so you can still cut that in half and create a sandwich from that. If you want to put a little sesame seeds on the top, that's always fun to get a little sesame seed bun or poppy seeds. See, this is still just a little bit rough, so we're going to have a nice chewy texture to this bread, which I just slide it onto my tray and put these in. Now I'll leave them in for about 4 or 5 hours till the top is dry, and then as I showed you earlier, we'll place another tray on here and flip it over and take the Teflex sheet off so that it can dehydrate from both sides. That'll speed up the drying time and also reduce the possibility of any fermentation starting. Another way to deal with the bread is to make what we call a flat bread. And that's to spread the dough thin as it were one slice of bread. And go ahead and cut your pieces now, like so. And then put these in the dehydrator and they'll come out as individual slices of bread. And again, if you want to put some poppy seeds or sesame seeds on there, you can. And we'll set this for 95 to 100 degrees. And we'll leave them about 8 hours or 6 hours or so. Flip them over, and then you can leave them overnight, and the next day you have bread.